What if you could totally reinvent your life? And I'm not talking about in 10 years or even in 1 year. What if you could do it in just 6 months? Well, that's the powerful idea we're going to dig into today, the 6-month transformation. The promise here is incredibly simple and honestly pretty bold. 6 months of intense, focused effort is all it takes to turn everything around. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That sounds kind of impossible, right? But there's a system behind this, and we're about to see how it works. Most of us just kind of drift through life. We get distracted, we tell ourselves we'll get to our goals someday. But there's another path you can choose. It's the path of the committed, the one defined by purpose, by focus, and by taking action right now. This choice, right here, is the real starting line. And this is the end game. This is the ultimate payoff. We're not just talking about a little improvement here. We're talking about a fundamental change, a version of you that is so much stronger, sharper, and completely transformed. So how on earth do we actually get there? Well, it all starts with your mindset. Before you take a single step, before you change a single habit, you have to get your head right. This part isn't optional. It's the absolute foundation for any real, lasting change. And it really boils down to two incredibly simple but profound first steps. Step 1 is taking full responsibility for everything, and step 2 is defining your target with absolute clarity. Let's break those down. Full responsibility. What does that really mean? It means you accept right now that you are 100% in control of what happens next. No more blaming your job, your past, or your circumstances. Winners only focus on what they can control, and that control starts today. Okay, so once you've taken ownership, you need a destination. And this quote says it all. Vague goals create vague results. If you don't have a crystal clear, measurable target, you're basically just shooting arrows in the dark and hoping for the best. So the question is, what exactly do you want to achieve in these next 6 months? With that mindset locked in, you now need an operating system to run on. And that brings us to the core disciplines. Think of this as the system that's going to power you through every single day for the next 6 months. This chart, wow, it visualizes a really hard truth, doesn't it? For most people, our time just gets eaten alive by distractions and tasks that don't really matter, leaving this tiny little slice for the deep work that actually moves the needle. The lesson here is so clear. If you don't control your time, you can bet someone or something else will. And this is the principle that fixes that problem. Every hour, every single action you take has to be intentional. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to my goal or further away? Because there is no neutral ground. So many people wait to feel motivated. But motivation, it's just a feeling. It's totally unreliable, and it fades so fast. Discipline, on the other hand, is a system. It's what you do whether you feel like it or not. It's dependable, and it's what really builds momentum over time. Think of it this way. It's not talent or luck or some flash of inspiration that's going to get you there. It's discipline. It's that simple, relentless act of doing what you said you were going to do day in and day out. That's the bridge. The final discipline is all about raising your standards, and that means you have to start embracing discomfort. Look, real growth, real transformation, it only happens when you push past your limits and do the hard stuff. If you're not uncomfortable, you're probably not growing. So you've got the mindset, you have the disciplines, but none of that matters without the engine that drives the whole thing forward. And that is relentless, massive execution. This is it. This is the entire secret. Stop thinking so much. Stop over-planning. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just execute. Pull the trigger. This is where the real transformation actually begins. See, execution is the antidote to pretty much everything that holds you back. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about being successful. It's built in the act of doing. And momentum isn't some magical force. It's the direct result of putting in the reps consistently. The difference between staying stuck and achieving success is right here on this slide. Most people get caught in a loop of overthinking, waiting, and planning forever. Winners, they act, they move, and they execute. They just get it. Progress only comes from motion. So what actually happens after 6 months of this kind of unwavering commitment? Well, you arrive at the result, a future where you are almost unrecognizable. Let's just reframe this for a second. 6 months is about 26 weeks. 26 weeks of pure, relentless focus.
When you break it down like that, the intensity and the possibility, it all becomes so much clearer.
And this is the person you will become because of that focus. You won't just be someone with better results. You'll be someone who is fundamentally different, mentally tougher, physically stronger, sharper, more confident, and ultimately unstoppable. And really, it all comes down to this one powerful question. The next 6 months are going to pass no matter what you do. That's a fact. The only real question is the decision you make right now. The power is completely in your hands. Who will you choose to become?